You want a long video, YouTube? Fine. Have a long video. Biblically accurate angels. We know them, we love them, we appreciate their uncanniness. They seem to have captivated a rather niche corner of the internet, niche but still noteworthy. I'm among those numerous non-religious folks who nonetheless got entranced by the many eyes and wings of these eldritch beings, and who can blame me? Angels, the way they commonly get depicted in media, look so lame in comparison. Those tiny wings, that halo. Their halos used to make sense when they were depicted actually haloing the heads of saints or whomever, but now they've gone horizontal for some reason. Right, we can do better than those plain, bland rings. Let's instead take a page out of the Thrones book. The Thrones are those angels that are most often depicted as masses of wheels and eyes. What if we just take one of those eye wheels and, it kind of looks like a ring. Okay, now how do I make this? I need to start somewhere because, holy crap, starting nowhere sucks. Basic plan, ignore the blueberry stain. Basic plan, I need to figure out the proportions. So, God, this is a terrible camera angle. My face is about 21 centimeters, which means this, if we compare it to that, is about 1.5 faces long. And 1.5 faces long is about 30.5 centimeters. That will be our diameter. God, I hate circles. That seems about yay big, which does not seem long enough, so we have to go longer. Yeah, that seems about right. But hold on. If it's a ring, there will be an inner circumference and an outer circumference. If we take that as our inner circumference, it'll actually end up being bigger. So I don't have to discard my math, for once. It's cardboard stash time. Now, I've got a handful of different types of cardboard, but the goal is to make as much as possible out of one connected piece for structural stability's sake. If you all have watched my previous making video, in quotation marks, you will know that this type of cardboard that comes from these tea boxes is my favorite kind of cardboard. It is fairly flimsy, but just structurally stable enough to make stuff out of. But I only have one of these tea boxes left, and I'd rather not use it on such a big project. There's also this piece of cardboard, which is very similar to this. However, it's not big enough to make the entire thing out of, so I don't think I will be able to. I should have enough of this big cardboard to, make the entire circle out of bits and pieces. They also stole this box. Don't tell anyone. There are a couple things that will help me get the circle shape. These two are my mother's hats. Did I ask to borrow them? No. I am trusting that they are more or less circular. Too big. Also, too big. I have run into a problem. Too small. Also, too small. Way too small. Wow. Perfect, actually. So we have our circular object. We will worry about the outer ring later. But first of all, paper prototype. Binder paper because I have an absurd amount of it. I need a hard, flat surface. Okay, now how do I center this? That is a cat claw. Okay, now listen to this. It sounds like a helicopter. I don't have 3 hands, so... Well, circle! Now, how do we do the outer ring? Wait, I just realized. String! Either I'm a genius or I'm incredibly dumb for not realizing sooner. Contraption acquired. Okay, this is an oval. What the hell did I do wrong? I think I need a different pencil. One good thing crochet has taught me is how to tie a slip knot. Okay, this is not at all centered. I think I need to do this again. Oh, what the hell? Contraption number 2. I ended up, like, you know, eyeballing most of this, just going around the edge using the other circle, and I think it turned out pretty well compared to, you know, the other attempts. Okay, look, I'm gonna be like all the cool people. Transition! Okay, that was awful, and I'm never doing that again. But now we have a ring! How do I do this? I have folded it into a 4th. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so how many of these do I need? Okay, I need 2 of these rings for top and bottom, which means I need 8/4. Math. I am now realizing that this is a very inconvenient shape. I'm really hoping that these different thicknesses of cardboard will get along, because if they don't, I might run out. No, it doesn't fit. Okay, now I just have to cut them all out. Why is my camera not focusing? Well, this is all of them, and this is the cardboard pile. They're all a bit wonky and bent, because it's a very inconvenient shape to cut out. But I've got all of them. Wait a damn minute. Okay, there we go. A little wonky, but oh well. Cardboard has been cleaned up. Tea has been acquired. I'm gonna put these little strips to hide the seams and to make it more structurally stable. And we're back. The tea has been drunk. I'm just weighing down little strips of cardstock with rocks. I think I succeeded overall in making these extremely lightweight. Now it's time to move on to figuring out this center bit. Got a bunch of these cardboard strips that would probably work very well for this sort of shape. These would be like sandwiched right here. Teffy. I have the hiccups and the lighting's changed, but I'm just attaching these so that it will curve later. I am struggling. Sandwich on top of. Okay, I'm gonna get some water. I'm using paper clips and magnets to, you know, hold this while the Elmer's clear glue dries. I could use hot glue, but I feel like that would add too much unnecessary weight. Man, this glue is taking forever, and I had to turn the light on. Also, my head is throbbing, but we persevere. I'm about halfway done with the circle. I'm gonna get some ibuprofen and keep powering through. It is the next morning, and I have finished gluing together the walls of this ice cream sandwich. I just need to remove the paper clips and all the magnets. Hello, cat. Taffy. Hello. He's like, what the hell are you doing? Just, you know. There. More or less. I have to go into the little crevices on both top and bottom in order to glue down the little gaps that you can see there. Oh, that's gonna take forever. And then I got distracted because Pompon came over and we made this cake thing. Anyways, back to what I was previously doing. Okay, let's see if I can film this without seeing where the camera's pointing. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Because even I can't. It's not squeezing out. I switched to a different angle with the same lack of visibility, if not worse. Turns out the glue wasn't coming out because it was just old, literally yellowed with age. It was the glue that came with the glue gun. Fun fact, later in this project, the gun's wire broke and it nearly caught on fire. Oh, here I got a glue stick stuck in the gun and I spent a good 10 minutes trying to get it out.
Then I finally made the decision to try with pliers, for better or for worse. Took me another 10 minutes to get it out, but I succeeded in the end. Like most people who make stuff, I have mixed feelings about hot glue. My main grievance is that it looks really messy.
Maybe I can sand it down. How sandable is hot glue? Next step is those eyes. I need to put them on the sides of this thing. I'm gonna use these little beads to make the center part. I don't yet know how I'm going to get this kind of shape, but that's a problem for later me. I'm gonna have to sand these beads down though, as paint won't stick to this kind of coating.
I journeyed outside in order to do the sanding. Did I wear a mask? No, I probably should have, but I just hoped that the light breeze would disperse the particles. If you do this, please wear a mask. Don't do what I do.
The sunset. I need to hurry up. I've only got like half the beads sanded.
I did end up beating the setting sun. Not literally. I didn't fight the sun, even though I might have wanted to.
Okay.
Next step was creating a blueprint for the eye shape, which I had no particular plan for. My main goal was just a vaguely oval dome-ish shape.
This sort of shape. Now I just have to make it flush to the thing. They'll consist of two of these kind of shapes that are then connected together and made to dome up at the middle end. And they're perfectly symmetrical in both this way and the other way. Since they're symmetrical 4 ways, this is the little pattern piece that I ended up on. They already kind of look like eyes, like the mock-up. That's great. Right, I'm going to use that same bit of cardstock that I had left over, if only I can find it.
I ended up discarding that quarter pattern because I didn't like the crease in the middle and just went with little halves instead.
They look like little boats. It's 1:30 in the morning. I need to go to sleep.
I also made some eyelids for additional three-dimensionality. 3D-ness? I don't know.
Okay, eyelids have been installed, and it's been long enough for the glue to dry completely, at least I think so. There's a bunch of gaps and weird bits that I need to smooth over before I paint it with thinner acrylic paint, and I'm going to use puffy paint. It's intended for fabric, but it should work on cardboard to thicken up like some of the edges and give them like a rubbery feeling. Acrylic paint, if it's thickened up with cornstarch or whatever you use to thicken up acrylic paint, would also work, but I feel like it would also take much longer to dry than this stuff, even though this stuff does take forever, so I'm gonna go with that anyways.
I tried to squeeze the paint straight out of the container, but it was pretty inconsistent and hard on the fingers, so I used my hand as a paint palette. Probably not the best idea. I could have used a normal paint palette, yes, but I figured hand would be more efficient. Don't do this. You could be allergic to the paint or something. Just don't.
No. Focus. I swear. It's gonna take forever. And I have to do the inside as well.
It looked like a rainbow mess once I finished, and so did my hand. For the base coat, I used this chalk paint that I had lying around. It's like acrylic paint, but it dries a chalky texture. I discovered that it sticks pretty well to smoother surfaces, unlike acrylic paint. Also, I don't have gesso.
Oh, there's a cat hair. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Crisis averted. It looks fleshy on camera.
I painted the inside as well. I think I only had to do 2 coats. I swear it looked less fleshy in person. A downside to chalk paint is if you apply it too thick, it does tend to crack, but normal acrylic paint can smooth it out just fine. Yes, it's painting time! I started with a brown base coat, which probably wasn't the best idea. You'll see what I mean. I used the cheap, crappy apple barrel paint for this, so I had to do so many layers. It was very streaky. Don't mind the sound of the air conditioning. I have painted I don't know how many coats onto this. The inside was the most irritating part, and I haven't finished that yet because I'm gonna make it a darker color because shadow. I'm going to have to figure out what gold looks like. I never did end up figuring it out. It looks more copper with the brown base, honestly. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. With these streaks, it kind of looks like metal. Like, if you really squint, it kind of does. This is a very annoying shape. I don't know how to film this. I was just going to go wash my paintbrushes, but I have been visited by a friend. Hello, friend. Oh, I'm gonna leave paint on the wall if I do that. Best not. Okay, I think I've embraced the streakiness of this, and now I'm going for that kind of streaky painting look, which I think it's turning out okay. The inside continues to be the most difficult place to get into. I don't like this shape. Why am I doing this to myself? Now it's time for details. Oh, right. There we go. I just keep adding paint and it keeps working. I used red in the little shadow areas and this accent orange, which I think looks pretty good. And I used this blue as like a highlight color because something color theory. I also colored in the eye whites with blue, but I think I'm gonna change that to like a more fleshy, pinkish, actual eye color thing. And I don't know what to make the irises. I'm gonna have to decide on that later once I do all the shading on the inner eye part, or what's it called? Sclera? I don't know how to pronounce it. Be prepared for a close-up eye jump scare. Ooh. Eye reveal, yeah, my eyes are this sort of bluish puddle green, and that goes pretty well with reddish brown, so I just decided to go with my own eye color for this. Side note, if you guys want a proper tutorial on how to paint this, if you want to for whatever reason, I can post a digital version on my community tab. Just let me know and I'll make one. I've got all this leftover paint. Let's see what I can do with it. And then I asked myself, how am I gonna put this on my head? The time has come where I have to figure out this mechanism. Forgive my voice, I just woke up and decided to do this immediately. This template doesn't really fit anymore because of the discrepancies in the cardboard and it's a bit wonky, so I've decided to make a new one in order to make this inner ring that this thing is gonna rest on. Hello, cat. For this template, I just used this puzzle piece to roughly trace around it, just like I did for the other one, and this one is a little bit smaller because it has to fit on the inside of here, and with this little edge, it makes the inside smaller. Ring number 2! I once again cut it into fourths and use it as a pattern. Oh look, I'm not on the floor! I'm currently incredibly tired, but I have glued them together I've taped them together into thirds, and I shall now glue these other connector pieces. This is the wrong piece. These are both labeled 2, okay. Alright. Yeah, I am so tired. I'm going to glue these, and then I'm going to explain everything else. Chronological order, if I have the energy. I've got this flimsy wire. Pretty sure this will be enough to go around the circle, and then I'll make these little, these little, like,
hooking things to maybe use tension, physics, something to hold them together, maybe? I don't know. Oh, and also I just, it's currently very late at night. I just took some melatonin. Hopefully I can finish this before it, works. I'm gonna glue this on with normal paper, printer paper strips, because paper, yep.
I woke up bright and early next morning. What the hell is my arm doing? Okay. Yeah. I just finished attaching the wire to the cardboard. And then, after I bent the wire ends into hooks, I just painted the base coat on them.
You remember this leftover paint? Huzzah, this is what it's gonna be used on. I coated these again with this wash, what? No, this acrylic chalk thing. This hook stuff is not as effective as I would have hoped. I hoped I could find like some Velcro or something, but it needed this sort of wire connecting thing to be stable enough. I just figured, whatever, if I'm putting wire in it anyways, might as well use it to attach stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to use some of this wire in order to figure out how to attach all this crap to my head.
I did indeed use the leftover paint, and it looked very edible. I used this, gloss medium stuff to varnish both the ring and the headpiece. I honestly don't know if it's supposed to be used as varnish, but it's pretty durable anyway. Only downside is that it dries slightly sticky, but it did give the ring a nice shine, I guess. The next step after varnishing the pieces was actually attaching everything to my head. For this, I've used a ring of wire. Not the most comfortable solution. In order to connect the wire ring to the eye ring, I used a stronger wire. However, I first needed to bend it. This was akin to one of Heracles' 10 labors, except I don't have Heracles' physical prowess. I tried 3 different pairs of pliers, increasing in size, but none of them worked. So, well, I gave up.
So the problem is, this ring with the connected by the wires will be in thirds, and it'll be connected here. These 2 rings are going to be parallel. This is the one that goes on my head. Problem is, this supporting wire has a 90-degree angle with the head ring. I don't know how I'm going to attach it without being able to bend it.
I borrowed some electrical tape and tried out a couple different ways of attaching smaller pieces of the more bendy wire to make it work, but none of it really did. I just wasted tons of tape in the process. Eventually, my dad saw me struggling and bent it with one of his proper big, scary tools. The next step was to cut it, which I was thankfully able to accomplish myself, though it did leave a ton of little bits of metal all over my hands. Probably unsafe. I still ended up using some of the other wire and electrical tape to make sort of an L-shaped brace for the bent wire. That configuration seemed stable enough, I just needed to make it 2 more times. And then, in order to attach them to the inner ring, I had to trim some wires, which means metal shavings. Delicious. The next morning was the last day of working on this project. I woke up really early, way too early for a weekend anyway, and put everything together. I added some little dangly chains last minute, and then it was finally complete.
You either stay here or you leave. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this video and you liked watching me struggle. Videos like this take a long time to make. I think I spent more time editing than actually making the piece, and they're not my usual type of content, so I really appreciate you sticking around all the way to the end. Anyways, I also want to give a quick thank you to the 1,500 people subscribed to this channel. That number is unbelievable to me. I struggle interacting with any online community, including my own, but I'm trying to be a little bit more active in the Discord. If you actually make something like this, you can send it there. The link is in the description. Or maybe you just have some pressing thoughts or art to share. You're always welcome to join. If you want to watch me make this box, you can go watch the video that I made like a couple years ago. Let me warn you, it is much worse quality. Well, with that said, farewell until we meet again!